PUDcast is filmed before a live studio audience.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the PUDcast with Jason and Mike. I'm Jason.
And I'm Mike.
And we're coming to you from the Pud Cave, located here in Game Swap in beautiful downtown Lincoln in the great state of North Carolina. Mikey, brother, what's going on this beautiful Sunday morning?
We in the hot cave today.
Jesus Louisa, somebody forgot to leave the air conditioning on last night. Feels like a sauna, man, but that's all right, brother. That's all right, because we're here to bring the heat anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
So we're already halfway there.
Yeah. 90s like all week.
Man, it's been a scorcher these last few days,
Brutal.
brother. Yes, it is, man. And we're just in May, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, God almighty. But, you know, dude, I bitched about it being so cold this winter. I can't really say anything. I
know.
I kind of do.
Back in this.
I know, dude. I'm just at that age now where I bitch when it's too cold. I bitch when it's too hot. You know, and I was coming up. I love the summer, you know.
There's just no in between.
No, there's really not anymore. You know, I guess I do prefer summer, though, because, man, the cold. I like winter. I like snow. I like shit like that to a certain degree, but.
I like air conditioning.
I like my AC, and I don't like just my bones hurting. You know what I'm saying? When it's cold, man, I've broken too many bones in my life.
That's true.
And, brother, I remember when I was a kid, they'd be like, oh, you'll feel that when you get older, or, oh, I broke my arm, you know, I feel it now. And I'm like, oh, that's bullshit. Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. Like I said, I've had a few broken bones, Mike, and I'm reminded of them every winter, especially when it's snowing or icy out. Oh, brother, it's a bitch. So I'll take the heat. You know, I'll take the heat. I can always AC it up.
Right.
You know. So, Mikey, what's going on, brother? What's happening? Tell me something good, man. You remember that old song, Tell Me Something Good? Mikey Payne, tell me something good, brother.
Let me tell you.
I need to hear something good this week,
If
brother.
I had told 10-year-old Jason Finger that not only on Saturday, just any Saturday,
right,
there would be not one but two wrestling shows going on in the same town in Lincoln,
I would have.
plus a pay-per-view that night.
Yeah, a big pay-per-view,
Yes.
man, a very important pay-per-view as well. 10-year-old Jason Finger would shit himself. well, it would be like, where to go? What do I watch? Do I watch the historic AEW pay-per-view, which, you know, I haven't watched it yet. I know you've caught some of it. I have seen some of it. I'm trying to avoid the spoilers, but bro, it's hard to avoid spoilers with Game of Thrones and television. Right. It's damn near impossible to avoid the spoilers with wrestling shows, because, you know, I'm subscribed to the wrestling websites. A lot of our friends are watching it and, you know, giving updates in real time. You know, so I still want to see that, but I hear it was tremendous. I cannot wait to watch it this week. But, you know, man, I would be kind of torn. I'd be like, which show do I go to? You know, you know, do you try to hit both? Do you try to hit one for a little while? Do you go to, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I mean, just think about it, and it's like, it's an awesome time that we are in right now.
It is.
That can happen.
It really is, man. I mean, you know, I know, just to give a little insight to today's show, basically, like you were just alluding to, Mike, there was two wrestling shows last night.
Yes.
One of them was, I believe, is it USA Main Event Wrestling?
Yes.
It is one of them, and that's a new federation, a new organization that had their debut show last night.
Yes.
And then we have the traditional Millennium Wrestling Federation that's been around for 20... almost 20 years now.
20 years.
Almost. You know, we're pushing 20.
Yeah.
We're hardcore pushing 20
okay?
years. You know what I'm saying?
You all right with that?
Oh, no, not really. You know, I remember when we formed the MWF thinking, damn, I'm getting a little long in the tooth to be doing this shit. When we formed that motherfucker in my mid-20s, you know. So 20-some years later, or almost 20 years later, here we are. But, you know, Mike, when I first heard about it, just to go ahead, because I know we had discussed talking about this on the podcast, but we've been holding off on it. You know, my first impression was like, who's this new who are these new people coming into town? Man?
Right.
You know, who are these people?
Yeah.
Why are they going up against the Millennium Wrestling Federation? Come to find out, man, wasn't it basically just a scheduling issue?
It was a big scheduling issue because, you know, as you know, Millennium Wrestling Federation, MWF, runs 2 weeks a month.
Right.
You know, 2 Saturdays a month.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Right.
It was misunderstood as far as, you know, what Saturdays they actually run.
Right.
So on that one, it kind of got, it kind of overlapped each other.
Right. It ended up, unfortunately, kind of running against each other.
Right.
Which may have taken fans from both shows, possibly.
Right, yeah.
You know, it's hard to tell. You can't really gauge that. You know, there's no scientific way to say, well, this show took this many people. You just don't know that. But it does tend to split the audience. You know, just like back in the Monday Night Wars, man. You couldn't watch both wrestling shows at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you had to figure out which show you want to watch, flip back and forth.
Unless you put a TV on top of a TV.
You could do that.
You could do that.
Actually, you did have that option.
Yeah.
Why didn't we do that?
Your parents wouldn't let us.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Dad wouldn't have that shit.
They drew the line.
Yeah, it's like one TV. Hell, I mean, we're lucky just to be able to watch it there, much less, you know, have
sure we can't put you sure we can't put the 13-inch on top of the floor model?
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Come on, man.
Jesus, man, what is this, Russia?
Come on.
Soviet Union.
Well, let's have it.
But, come on, let's have this one thing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man, you know, but we had 2 shows going on. And, you know, so what we decided to do, Mike, was like, well, let's go check these shows out. You know, you went to the USA show, and I went to the Millennium Wrestling Federation show.
Split it off.
Yeah.
This is welcome to our Double or Nothing part 1.
Yeah, pretty much, man. Because we're going to be talking wrestling for the next couple weeks, you know. And I guess the way we'll do it, Mike, we haven't really talked about the format per usual. we never do that.
Exactly.
I guess we'll probably just talk about some of the matches, you know, what you liked, what you didn't like, the crowd reactions, just the overall vibe of the shows. One thing, man, I want to put out, if anybody's out there listening, whether that's with the USA guys or whether that's with the Millennium guys, one thing that I want to say to both parties here, and, you know, hopefully they're listening, do communicate.
Yes.
Keep in touch with each other. Make sure you're not overlapping, you know.
Right.
I don't know the guys from USA, but I do know the Outlaw Keith Matthews from the Millennium Wrestling Federation. If there's ever been a more approachable man, I've never met him.
Right.
You know, Jeff will talk to you, man. He will work with you. You know, man, you may fuck around and actually be able to help each other out. You know, if you ain't careful, you know, you may actually draw more people. So that's my advice and my word to both organizations is have a meetup.
Yeah.
Somebody call. I'm going to put it on the USA guys, Mike, because they're the new guys.
Yeah.
I think that they should reach out because Jeff's been here for 20 fucking years. You know, reach out, man. Have a conversation. You know, maybe go out and have a beer. You know, talk. You know, keep it cool, man, because. You know, my first reaction when they ran on the same night, I had a very negative reaction. And, you know, we talked about that.
Right.
You know, obviously off the microphone. But, you know, my whole thing was like, who the fuck are these guys, man? The Millennium Wrestling Federation's been here for 20 years, you know. Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
You know, so that's my word. Because we cannot have enough talent out there. We cannot have enough options out there. Guys, man, there's enough weeks in the month where we can run a show every weekend. Yeah. You know, let's give the people and the fans you know, more options and not make them choose, you know, because we don't need to, man, you know. So that's my word to the USA guys and even to the Millennium guys, you know, reach out, communicate. Brother, of all the things I'll look back on, Mike, back in my time holding the pen with the Millennium Wrestling Federation, one thing I regret, man, hindsight being 2020, you know, 20 years later, you know, you're not so young and full of vigor and, you know, going to take over the world. Yeah. I really wish we'd have been more cooperative with some of the other organizations. Right. And it's hard to do that, man. I mean, sometimes you can't even get your group on the same page. Yeah. But still, man, to maybe at least have some communication. Maybe be like, hey, we don't want to take away from you guys. You know, that's one thing I regret. And looking back, I wish we could at least have a little
territorial,
bit more.
You know, it's definitely territorial.
Yeah.
And there are those feelings of, you know, okay, this is kind of our territory.
This is us.
This is us. And
right. Which, and I get that. But you know, there's enough fans, man, and there's enough people out there for everyone. There is enough of the pie to go around. And the cool thing about, you know, our economic system, you know, being here in America is you can grow that pie. Exactly. You know, it doesn't have to be stuck.
All right.
Communicate, talk, you know. Like I say, you may fuck around and help each other out.
Exactly.
You know, and that doesn't do anything but help the entire community out, man. Not just the organizations, not just the wrestlers, not just the promoters, everybody. Yeah. Everybody.
Exactly. But I think it's a great thing, and I wouldn't be hurt by the fact that we can have just like wrestling every week. And week, you know?
I mean, really, man. I mean, you know, everybody.
That'd be fun.
It would be great. You know, everybody always bitches about, there's nothing to do in Lincoln. There's nothing for the kids. There's nothing for the people. Well, yes, there is. Yeah. For one, man, I'll say it again. The Millennium Wrestling Federation's been around for damn near 2 decades. Yeah. And I know we're going to go into a lot more in depth of these shows and the organizations in general, But just to put it out there, Mike, you're not going to find a more kid-friendly environment anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Anywhere than the Millennium Wrestling Federation. Yeah. I mean, dude, they got a no cussing law. Like, you know, they actually announce it now, and I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, I got to watch my shit, you know. And, you know, man, I'm a little... My booking style.
Oh, even then, I mean, we weren't putting out, you know.
No, but they.
Damn and ass and you know, stuff like the hell.
They actually have a no cussing from the fans. Like if you're a fan,
really?
and they announced that. Yeah, it's the first time they're like no cussing, no fighting, obviously.
Right.
You know, and they're like take that shit. Well, they didn't say shit.
Yeah, exactly.
But take it elsewhere. And my first thought was like I said, I was like, oh fuck.
Oh yeah.
Because we had people cuss us.
Yeah.
I mean, man, I was called every.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm talking. I was called some bad.
Kiss my ass.
Yeah, you son of a bitch. You know, I've been called everything from well, I don't want to drop any slurs or anything. Yeah. I've been called everything.
Yeah.
So I was a little torn with that, man. You know, me and Jeff obviously have different philosophies. Because, you know, I'm more of an ECW type guy. You know, I'm like, let's drink beer. Let's cuss.
Exactly.
You know, Jeff's more like, it's for the kids.
Right.
And, you know, I respect that.
Yeah.
I do respect that.
I just don't know that you can censor that.
Well,
it's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard.
It is hard. And, you know, man, I got a few criticisms from the show last night. I have a lot to put over from the show last night. That was one of the things I was on the fence about. Mm-hmm. Because, like I said, man, I think we have a need in this community for good family-oriented, and you're not going to find it anywhere else that's any better than the MWF. Right. I'll say that once again. I do think, man, it can take away from your heat. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like, I loved it when I got called a bastard. I loved it when I got called a son of a bitch. I loved it when I got called homophobic slurs, you know, and I called every single one of them.
There's something to say about the PG heat versus the adult heat.
Yes, there is. To me, the adult heat, I always liked it better. Yeah, I just did. It felt more real. Yeah, it kept me more real. Right. You know. But once again, man, there's no right or wrong in that. That's just a different philosophy. You know, like I said, my philosophy is a little bit more adult oriented, a little bit more, you know. Call me a son of a bitch. Call me a motherfucker. You know, drink some beer.
Bring it.
You know, how you know, that's something else. You know, Jeff decides not to have, you know, alcohol, and I can so fucking respect that. Yeah. In fact, when I was booking during that time, we were the same way. You know, like, let's leave that alone. However, man, there are a lot of advantages to feeding your crowd booze.
Yes.
I mean, there are, you know, like
obviously they have to pay for it, but you know.
Well, that's the biggest advantage there.
You don't want to give it away for free.
Right, man, but you know, you tend to eat more concessions when you're drinking. Right. It definitely loosens you up in the show. You definitely get
more involved.
Yes, man.
And throw your inhibitions away.
Yes, it lubricates. Yes. Man. Life's lubricant. Even though I'm no longer a drinker, I still will hold true to the fact that alcohol is life's lubricant.
Yes,
and if you're a little uptight or, you know, reserved, you know, maybe you don't want to hoop and holler as much, man, you know, 3 or 4
lubricate
beers.
as often as possible.
You're a little lubricated right now.
A little lubricated.
I wish I was, brother.
Oh, yeah.
But, Jesus, man. Well, Mike, I tell you what, brother. Why don't you talk a little bit about the show that you witnessed last night? We've been putting over the MWF so much. Yeah, man.
Let's start this off. Okay. Well, let's see. Well, first off, we're on different sides of the town.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You can't go back and forth, man. You're not.
No. There's no closed circuit either.
Yeah. No switching channels.
No. Where I was, if you're familiar with Center Drive, you know, that's where, you know, the Dollar Tree and the
old Domino's used to be there.
Domino's used to be there. And
the tag place.
Yeah, tag place. You know, the Lysa tag place. Right in that little it's back in there. I forget what you call that.
Like a little cubby or something, I guess.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's at the Wow Factor building, which, you know, Downtown Dairy Treats uses that for their, you know, fun events, you know, the bouncy houses, stuff like that. You know, they'll do private wrestling shows as well.
Right.
But it's in there. They've got a very nice setup. It's small.
Right.
My head count was 75 last night.
Okay. Very respectable.
Yes.
Very respectable.
Very. Yeah. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, it is.
In one space.
Yes.
It was very hot.
Cause now, correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, but there was only supposed to be. Well, they had 50 as their sellout.
Yes.
So they actually doubled, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they took half of what they should have and added to
Right.
that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What they initially put out there.
Yeah. A 50% increase. What
Right.
I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Thank you, math.
Yeah.
Thank you, math.
That's the first time I mathed in a while. I was hoping I'd never do that shit again.
But like I said, and they had air,
Right.
but it just could not keep up with how hot it was.
Right, because you got guys in there working. You got lights. You know,
they
got body
had
heat.
Great light setup and everything. You got a lot of people breathing. A lot of people breathing, and it was hot. And
Right.
I went with Jamie and Victoria.
Right.
And they had to leave probably about a little before halfway because it was just too much.
Right.
Yeah, it was really cool because it was Victoria's first live wrestling show.
That's right. Yeah. Cool. What did she think, man? What was her reaction?
I think at first she was very confused.
Yeah, like
as far as what was going on, but
what are these guys doing?
Yeah. But then she kind of got into it, and it's like, oh, you could see it on her face. It's like, oh, okay.
That amazement.
Yeah.
That's awesome,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was just too hot in there.
Right.
And they actually went home. I stayed on. I tell you what, everything. The lights were great. Because they turn the lights down.
Right.
And they've got it all attention on that ring.
Right.
Which I thought is just great.
Yeah.
I love it.
That kind of that old school feel, man. Right.
Yeah,
right.
exactly. Where your attention is not on everybody out here in the crowd. It's on that ring.
Centered.
Yeah, exactly. Right. The sound the sound system, as far as the music was great.
Cool.
For that small of a space, it probably could have been a little lower. It was pretty loud.
Kind of blasting you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the microphone sound, that's the biggest thing to me.
Right.
Is one of the biggest things is people talking on that microphone.
Right.
And being able to understand what they're saying.
Yeah, correct. Right.
It was everything was crystal clear.
That's great. Yeah.
That's you
important,
understood
man.
everything everybody said, and everybody that talked was really great.
Good.
That got on the mic, were able to hold a mic and talk in it.
Yeah.
And that works. Always works really well.
Right.
Let's see. And some of the matches. Now with them, I could tell right off the get-go. I mean, this was Southern style wrestling.
Okay. Yeah.
By the book.
I got you.
By the word.
Tie up, headlock, armbar.
No, not so much that. The wrestling was solid.
Right.
But I'm talking your Southern gimmicks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're getting your Southern heat.
Right. Like what? Like give me some examples here.
Okay. The first one I'll give is the match between the New Age Assassins and Luscious Lenny Lips.
Okay, well, I can probably go ahead and tell from Luscious Lenny Lips what kind of gimmick he's running here.
What do you think it is?
It sounds maybe a little androgynous, possibly. Maybe even a little on the homosexual side, possibly. Kind of like an Adrian Adonis type.
Absolutely.
Adrian Street, okay.
I think we've got a picture pulled up right here.
Yes, a Bruce Bone from back in the MWF days as an example for any of our old fans that may listen to us.
Yes. I would say probably... This is probably my least favorite. I think the crowd's least favorite match of the whole thing.
Really?
I just don't think it works anymore. It does not.
The homophobic
It does
thing,
not fly.
It just does. And it was funny, man. I was actually making some slightly homophobic comments at the MWF show. I was like, go hug your girlfriend.
Right.
Stuff like that. And
yeah.
it was getting some heat and everything. But I started thinking about that. I'm like, I don't know if this really...
Right.
gets over like it used to.
No.
It's like
it does not.
Yeah, it's like that. It's a dated gimmick now. Which is, I mean, socially speaking, I think that's a positive thing.
Yeah, for sure.
It really is. You know.
But they were, they would do, the gimmicks with, slapping the butt and doing it all, rubbing on.
Yeah,
it was not getting any reaction whatsoever.
People just don't care about that anymore.
I think if you're just leave this thing alone.
Yeah.
Just
drop the
whole thing.
Yeah.
It's
Nobody
not necessary.
cares.
Not necessary at all.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, dude, our society's moved now to a point where people just don't care about your orientation anymore.
Yeah,
it's about who you are, not about, acting quote unquote gay.
Right, right.
You know, like I said, man, we've moved past that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know you want to run Southern type wrestling, traditional wrestling, but Southern wrestling doesn't always mean bigotry or anything like that.
No, I mean, to me, man, the Southern style wrestling was almost about the realism of it, the grittiness of it, not about racism, not about homophobia, not about any of that stuff. Now, granted, back in the day, there was obviously those elements. We've talked about both those elements a lot in this show over this last pushing a year now.
Right.
But the Southern style to me, man, was just about the realness of it, the Ole Anderson versus Ricky Morton type stuff. You know what I'm saying,
exactly.
man? Yeah.
So I would have left that one completely off.
Right.
Just completely off. You could have done something else with a different mask.
Right.
Just
there's a lot of gimmicks out there, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gimmicks.
Really are.
Yeah.
There really are.
But and man, just to add to that, and I'm not dogging the guy out that worked the gimmick. I'm not, man. But that gimmick, not only is it not really socially relevant anymore, it is so played out.
Yeah.
It is so played out, man.
It's unnecessary.
Come up. Man, if you're in wrestling, then you're creative.
Yeah.
That's just the bottom line. If you've made it into those ropes, then you have a creative mind, because you have to have that. Use it. Use it to be more innovative.
Yeah.
That's my word, man. Once again, that's not a dog out. That's not being, disrespectful. That's just my opinion on that.
Right.
You can come up with a lot more innovative.
Yeah.
Like I said, man, it's played out.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, every era's had one, man.
Yeah.
Even we did back in 2000, but back in that day, it still got heat.
Yeah,
it really did.
It was still a thing. Yeah. It was a risky thing, but it was still a thing.
Yeah.
I don't think we used it that much.
No, I think Bruce Bowen maybe wrestled 5 matches, maybe something like that.
Honestly,
even back then,
really probably didn't get over.
Yeah, even back then, you could tell it was just like nobody. Because our group of people were always pretty progressive anyway, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So even our fans were, and our crowd was. So even back 20 years ago, it was already kind of on its way out the door.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. So I would just drop that altogether. The next one is, let's see, Stan Sierra, which is kind of their big guy.
Okay.
I
saw a picture of him, man. He's a big dude.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
So we're going to speak very positively of this guy in this segment right here.
Well, you had they had set up. Of course, I failed to mention the Governor Matthew Burton kind of started off the show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because he's the commissioner.
Yeah,
correct?
He's the commissioner, and he kind of set up everything as far as what was going to happen. And he set up a lot of angles throughout the night. Got the crowd really into it.
And this is the man behind L-Town Radio.
Yes.
Okay. Got you.
He was out there as well. And he'd set up this handicap match between Stan Sierra. I forget. It was another mask.
Right.
And he got pinned in probably like a second, 3 seconds, actually.
I like handicap matches.
Yeah.
I've always liked those.
All right. But the other opponent was Big Rig Jake Brake.
Big Rig Jake Brake.
Yes.
I like that name. That's a cool name.
This guy looks like the One Man Gang.
Okay.
Huge.
Right.
Tall. Big.
Just a big dude. Right.
I know they had him built at like 7 feet, 500 pounds.
Oh, Jesus.
Probably not that much.
But
it's pro wrestling.
But it's enough.
Exaggerate the numbers.
Right, but he's still big enough to put it over.
Guy.
Right.
He's a big guy.
Because even when you exaggerate those numbers, you got to be a hoss to get it over.
Yeah.
So
he had to go through the handicap match, get to the main event.
Right.
Obviously, he did so. He had a pretty good match, a decent match with Big Rig Jake Brake.
Right. I like that name, dude. I really like that. Jake Brake, Big Rig Jake Brake. I love that.
Yeah.
Man.
And, like
that's
I said,
cool.
He's a big guy that looks like One Man Gang. And on the back of his tights, and it says, caution, stay back 100 feet.
That's awesome.
I said, brother, we ain't got 100 feet to work with back here.
Yeah. I mean, maybe 100 inches, maybe.
So you stay up there. We'll stay right here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like I said, love the name, man.
Yeah,
that name's awesome. Yeah.
He's a big guy, overflowing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But but of course, Stan Sierra went over, and he's on to the main. At that point, it's brought up that the other guy, the USA main event champion, Vic the Bruiser, should do the same.
Okay.
He should be able to, go through the handicap.
Right.
At least have another match to go to the main event, whatever.
Okay.
However they got it set up.
Okay.
Let me tell you, this guy, Vic the Bruiser, I like this guy.
Right.
He's their heel.
Okay.
Without a doubt.
Gotcha.
This guy looks like Rikishi.
Right.
Mixed with Abdullah the Butcher.
Okay, I know who you're talking about from the flyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy kind of in the right-hand side of the flyer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got you. Yeah. And his name is Vic the Bruiser.
Vic the Bruiser.
Okay.
He can talk.
Got a good promo skills. Okay.
He can work. And his mannerisms remind me of Abdullah the Butcher.
Okay, cool.
With the Rikishi working.
Nice. That sounds like a hell of a combination.
It is.
Man. Yeah.
It really is. So they did this angle where, of course, he called out somebody from the crowd. Anybody could take him.
Okay.
Obviously, somebody that was behind me.
Right.
In work,
okay,
in the shoot, it is one of their trainees.
He got you. Right. It's a plant.
Right.
Gotcha.
Exactly. Hopefully, I'm not killing kayfabe.
Yeah. Well, dude. Yeah.
Or you just witness a kid getting killed by a very big man. But that's what it was.
Right. Pretty much put him down.
Yeah. Put him down. Some of those chops I heard were just enormous. Just
brutal.
It was brutal. It was just. I winced.
Yeah.
Winced. The only thing I could say about that spot, I like the spot. I love the spot with Vic because he looked like he was just murdering.
Right.
The kid, he's got
still got a lot to learn. Yeah.
He should have sold with that first shot. He should have been stretchered out with that first shot.
Right. So he's still got a little whiles to go.
Yeah.
Right.
A little bit to learn.
Right.
Especially putting a guy over like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And man,
they should have been able to mop him up. Now, the spot that they worked out at the end of it was the trainee's mom came in.
Oh, okay.
To defend her son and give Vic the slap.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did he?
Not a fan of this.
Did he put her down?
Not quite.
Right.
It just looked very awkward.
Okay.
I wasn't a fan of this.
Right.
This reminded me back of the Judy Bagwell days.
I was just about to say the only other mother I really remember ever being involved in a wrestling angle was Judy Bagwell, and that didn't go over.
It didn't play off.
Yeah,
It didn't look good.
Right,
and not for him. Definitely not for their monster heel.
And I see why you would do it to try to get that shock.
Right.
Oh man, here comes the guy's mom. I can see that, and that's realistic.
Yeah.
I could see that happening in the real world.
Yeah.
Maybe it didn't translate as well, possibly. It's kind of the way it sounded to me.
Yeah. It just didn't. He should have just let the kid lay in and just, look like the big bad monster.
And been left.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
One thing.
And of course, Stan Sierra comes out and chases him off. And
because he's the baby face.
Right.
He's the big baby face.
Yeah.
Man, I think that's one thing that for all wrestling promoters and bookers, you got to remember, man, it's that final impression that really matters. Because I had an issue with something last night at the MWF I'm going to talk about here in a little while that was kind of similar, but it wasn't in that same vein. But we'll get to that. Yeah. So sometimes, man, less is more. Let's put it like that.
Exactly.
Being a bass player, I'm here to tell you, sometimes the least you do puts it over the best.
Yeah.
Know when to lead the crowd.
Right.
In that state of mind.
So by this time, the crowd's really into it as well. They're really getting into it more. On the next match, It's Jimmy 2 times.
Okay.
Versus the thoroughbred Braden Marshall.
Okay.
The rookie.
All right.
Braden Marshall. Jimmy 2 times, has worked around a lot. He's been around for a long time.
Right. Because a lot of guys on this card are indie vets,
yes.
correct? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
This match was really, really, I would say this was the match of the night.
Okay.
For sure.
Cool. Okay.
It was a lot of fun. It was well done, well worked. Got the heat it should got the pop it should have.
Right.
The babyface was very sympathetic.
Yeah, He reached out. He reached out to the fans. Yeah.
And as a rookie, that's
saying a lot.
Yeah.
It's like almost like he has it.
Yeah.
He knows.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah, right.
It's there.
Right.
But this was a great match. I enjoyed this match a lot. Then of course you got let's see, how did that one go down? I want to say.
Did you not take notes, Mike?
I did not, man. I was just so into it and watching that I just didn't. I didn't take any notes, but I remember, quite a good bit of it. I would say the very end. Let's see, Jimmy had done something and got the win on it. But
Jimmy was the heel.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. Gotcha.
Right. And then they had, I want to say, Victor Bruiser came back out.
Okay.
And they did the double team on the kid, and then that brought Stan back out as well. And they cleared the ring and did that. And no, it was a good shot. I liked that match. That was a really, really fun match.
Cool.
Then they went to the intermission.
Right.
Coming back off of that, let's see, that would be, let me check. Kyle Maggard.
Okay.
Versus your favorite guy, Big Rig.
Oh, Jake Brake.
Jake Brake.
Jake Brake's in the house, brother. I already like this guy, man. I've never even seen him. Dude, names really do get me.
Yeah.
Like if I hear a cool name, then I'm like, okay, that's who I'm going to pull for. I mean, especially when you don't know who these wrestlers are. I mean, you're kind of going by what you're presented with, and the name is obviously, part of that. So, yeah, man, if you got a cool name, hell, I'll pull for you.
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
At least until I get into the product, But, yeah, man, I love the name. I love the gimmick. Stay back 100 feet. That's awesome.
All right.
Man. That's great.
I forgot to mention also, he's got a manager, and his name is, oh, my gosh, God, what was it, Lemon Drop?
Lemon Drop?
Lemon Drop.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Oh, my God, I wish I could remember it.
Well, was it the Weasley kind of manager?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
that old school kind of.
Oh,
yeah.
He was wearing, let's see, looked like Bret Hart glasses.
Okay.
With pajamas. It was like the short pajamas and the top pajamas. Leopard print.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And,
okay.
And the fur coat.
Perfect, man. So he just went all out.
I don't know how many rats he killed to make that coat, but I'm figuring it was a damn good bit.
Cleared out a house.
Right, yeah.
We have a rat infestation. Right. Oh, I got a new coat.
Yeah. But, yeah, man, it's just... Oh, my God. You have had to have been there to appreciate...
Right. But it sounds like he's going all out.
Break. You would just had to have been there to appreciate Big Rig Jake Brake.
I appreciate him already, bro.
He's like, he's getting his heat, and it's like, doing these moves on Kyle, and you suck. And he throws up his arms like, what are you talking about? I just did that.
I'm just beating the hell out of him.
Yeah. What are you talking about? And I thought that was great. I was like, yeah, man, what do you want from the guy?
I mean, Jesus, man. Yeah. What else do you need?
What do you need?
Water in the wine? Come on, man.
Dude, it was just his facial reactions were great. But like I said, he's a big guy. He's an overflowing guy.
Right.
At one spot.
Charisma? Did he have does he got the charisma factor going on?
I would say unintentionally.
Okay.
For sure.
Good.
At one point, he was getting chopped, forearms across the chest.
Right.
And on that singlet, because he's top heavy too.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
One of those man teats popped out.
Boogie.
And the kid in front of me,
Oh shit.
must have been about 8 years old,
Right.
8, 9 years old. The kid's like, oh, it's jiggling. I lost it.
So this kid has our mentality,
Yeah,
our
yeah,
maturity level.
yeah.
Okay.
I fucking lost it.
That's awesome, man. It's jiggling.
Oh, it's jiggling.
Hey, man.
Fuck, I lost it, dude.
Out of the mouth of babes,
That's
you
the
know.
funniest thing I've heard, like, all day. But, no, that was a decent match. That I would say that was Jake Break made that match,
Right,
for
right.
sure. Definitely made that match. He made it fun.
Right.
Anyway,
Sounds like he doesn't take himself too seriously.
Right.
Man. Yeah, which
Yeah.
you got to have
Yeah.
that. Once again,
Exactly.
workers, if you're listening,
Right.
promoters, workers, don't take yourself too fucking seriously.
Exactly.
Remember, you're fake fighting in your
Right.
underwear, y'all. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what you're doing.
no,
so
yeah, it was good.
don't be a mark. You know?
Well, at the finish of this one, let's see, Lemon Drop got involved. It's a great
We like
name,
Lemon
too.
Drop, man.
Lemon
Yeah,
Drop
yeah, that's
is-
what I'm
is
saying.
a great name.
That's awesome, man.
He got involved and sprayed Kyle in the face with
Okay.
only as what can
Lemon
only
juice?
be no. Oh, I wish that needs to be a thing.
I'm just saying.
That needs to be a
I'm
thing.
just saying.
That totally works.
Yeah.
Simple things.
Just the little things in life.
No, sir. What we could demise was Axe.
Oh, okay.
Because it filled the whole
It's,
room.
it's filled up the place. You can smell
filled
it.
Yeah. Of course, in a 75-seater with all these breathers and
It spreads
90
quick.
something, it was actually a relief.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I guess with some of the, I see what you're
It's
saying.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of cover up.
All right.
Kind of cover up the funk, as they
Yeah,
say.
yeah. But yeah, that was a fun match. Of course, Big Rig, Jake Break went over.
Good.
Got the
obviously.
win.
Obviously.
Got the win.
Obviously.
So that puts us at our main event, and that would be Stan Sierra against the champion, Vic the Bruiser.
Right.
Basically, this one turned out quickly into like a hardcore match.
Right. Heavy hitters, both
yes,
big guys.
yeah.
But you're right.
Right. The only thing was the referee was not there for whatever reason.
Okay.
So Lemon Drop was assigned
As
to be the referee for this.
Now, he does not manage Vic, though, correct?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
They're only in association.
Okay.
Right.
Got you.
This one was kind of it was a decent match. I guess I kind of expecting a little bit more
Right.
between these two.
Given the
than just,
height.
than just the hard, the chokeouts and the
Right.
chair shots and everything. It was a decent match. I would still say the Jimmy Two Times and the Thoroughbred was definitely the match of the night.
Right.
But this was a decent match with Stan Sierra going over with the real referee coming in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he makes
Yeah.
the run in, does the 3 count, I'm assuming.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And there was a lot of confusion about that at the very end. It just didn't seem like
The flow kind of broke.
The flow broke on
Yeah.
it for whatever reason. But all in all, I thought it was a fun time. The crowd was really into it. I liked it. Like I said, there's a couple things I didn't like, but
I was going to say, man, give it some criticism, some constructive criticism. Obviously, we're not here to bury anybody. We're
Right,
not here
right.
to, because God bless them for getting up there and doing it, man,
yeah, right.
But what I guess if they're listening, man, what would you say to them for their next show? And then we'll put them over. And
Okay,
then, you
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
absolutely. I would get rid of the Luscious Lenny Lips gimmick altogether.
Yeah.
Altogether.
Yeah.
Even if you need another guy, you need another spot. get another mask gimmick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Yeah,
that's the only thing with that.
Right. I mean, just be the assassin or the ninja. I mean, if you know what I'm saying. If you're just needing that body in there, then yeah.
Don't put people in there that can't do it,
right,
or can't put it over.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely.
That's only gonna hurt.
It takes you away from it, man. It does. Yeah.
I thought it was paced well.
Good.
I thought the matches were as long as they should be.
I was going to ask about match length. I was going to ask about that. Cool intros.
I mean, it was just straightforward intros. It was like, you're coming out of this room, you're going to the ring.
Right. But still hyping them up, though.
Getting hyped up. You're getting your heat. Good production on it. I thought it was really good production. I don't think of anything else that was. Well, it's hot as fuck.
Yeah. They can't really.
What can you do with that?
Yeah, right. Because man, we've worked in some pretty rough environments too.
Yes, we have.
Very, very rough environments.
I think of anything else. I like that they worked to their strengths. You know, you weren't looking at like a there's a lot of mat wrestling.
Okay. Traditional style.
Style stuff. They weren't going for the big spots, big flips, anything like that. Right. Of course, they can. There's enough room for it. And I'm sure with smaller guys, they're gonna definitely do it.
Right.
But it's not the same thing every match.
Good. You got to have that variety, man. Because I think I was alluding to it earlier, Mike. A lot of indie shows, man, it's tie up, headlock, arm bar, shoot to the ropes, drop down. I mean, dude, and that's every match. I mean, I've seen that myself. Yeah. So you got to mix it up, man. There's other ways to start out a match. There is. There are. There's multiple ways to start out a match.
Yeah.
Go back and watch some old tapes.
Right.
I mean,
exactly.
Just putting that out there as well.
If they shouldn't be doing it, they didn't do it.
Right.
I think that was the biggest thing. If they shouldn't be doing it, they didn't do it. So that was great.
Yeah, and that's a big thing, brother, because it takes you out of it.
Yeah, it does.
It really can. It can. Yeah. So, well, man, it sounds like it was a fun night. It
was really fun.
And definitely hope those guys, continue to have success and continue to draw good crowds and put it over. Well, Mike, I tell you what, man, we're not quite at the halfway, but we're getting there. So I figured, man, we may go ahead and take our break now.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back and then we'll talk a little bit about the MWF show that I went to. But Mike, we've been talking a lot about, the lubricant of life.
Yes.
Like I said, myself, I don't partake in that anymore. I partake in other lubricants.
Right.
Yeah. But man, today's song selection, Mike, we were talking about it earlier because, I had no clue coming in what we were going to play. I think it fits.
It does.
And that's basically a band we haven't played in quite a while.
Yeah.
It's been a couple months. In fact, I think it was on your birthday.
Yeah, I believe so.
Was the last time we played this band. Yeah, February, dude. Yeah, so it's time to revisit this band.
Dust it off.
And the band is called Psychostick.
Yes.
Huge fan of these guys. Like I said, they gave us permission a while back to play their music. And they actually have a pretty good following, brother.
Yes.
They got, I think 500,000 followers on Facebook. They're up in Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that's where they're based out of. I'll have to double check on that. I may have my facts a little mixed up, but I think they're out of Chicago area. But anyway, brother, we're going to go ahead and play a song we played way back in the day, and that's called Beer.
Right.
I mean, beer is good, brother. I mean, I can't think of a better song to play today, or I can't think of a better subject matter. It goes right in hand. So anyway, before we play it, if you like it, share it. Go check them out, man. This band has T-shirts. They got albums. They got all kinds of shit, man. Support them. Let people know about it. Maybe spend a little money on them if you like what you hear. But anyway, Mike, let's go ahead and play Beer by Psychostick. Don't go nowhere. We're going to be right back.
I like beer because it is good. I drink beer because I should. If there was a song to sing, I sing it and beer you bring. I drink beer when I am sad, cause the beer, it makes me glad. Now there's nothing left to say, so let's go drink beer. Beer is good! Beer is good! Beer is good! It's not! Beer is good! Beer is good! Beer is good! Let's go drink some beer! 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 happy, but cold beer will make me happy. When I throw up on the floor, I can go and drink some more. They say beer will make me dumb. It are go good with pizza. Now that we have drunk some beer, let's go drive a car. Beer is good! Beer is good! Beer is good! And stop! Beer is good! Beer is good! Beer is good! Let's go drink some beer! Dude, I think you had enough. Let's go drink some beer!
I am drunk, drunk as me. I am drunk, wee. I am drunk, drunk as me. I am drunk, wee. I am drunk, drunk as me. I am.
All right, Puds, we're back once again. The name of that band is Psychostick. The name of that song is Beer. Brothers, sisters, Puds, if you like it, share it.
Do it.
Go out, man. Maybe buy a t-shirt. They got some cool shit, man. As you can tell, this band's kind of got a little bit of a comedy stick to them. You know?
Right.
They don't take themselves too seriously, even though the music is stellar. I mean, this is a very talented, great band. But they prefer to have more comedy in their music, kind of like we have comedy in the podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really a great meeting, you know, of two different entertainment things here, you know.
Yeah.
But once again, man, if you like it, share it. We heard that on WTAUP Ridge Nation a long time ago, so it's always cool to give Mike Sherrill, Papa Jack a shout out. You know, he was on the show a few weeks ago. That was an awesome show, man. I'm still just tripping on how great of a show that was. Didn't bring up last week when we had Smiley and two dogs in the house, man. We had a full house in the cave.
Yeah, we did.
Just wanted to send those guys another special shout out and tell them thank you for being here. I got to see Smiley again before he left. It was always good to see Smiley.
They're still arguing over French fries.
Dude, Jesus, man. You know, I was telling a friend of mine, I'm like, I don't know if you know, obviously she didn't know who they were in the history. I'm like, I don't know if you truly understand the gravity of the situation of having these two people in the same room.
I was in tears.
Dude, I mean, yeah. Really, I wish Smiley and Dogs would have their own podcast.
Yeah.
Swear to God, dude, it may actually overtake Sweet Feathery Jesus. It could possibly overtake it. And that's hard, man.
Tough.
And I haven't listened to their latest episode, but it's out. So, ladies and gentlemen, go check that out as well. Now, Mike, I also want to talk a little bit about the Millennium show, but
before that, you know, and we're coming straight off the music, I forgot to mention music.
Okay, yeah.
As far as entrance music.
Right.
I heard everything from Kiss to Def Leppard.
Well,
as far as entrance music,
but that's like the same genre, though, man. I mean, that's like saying you heard everything from Guns N' Roses to Skid Row. I mean,
I don't think you're getting what I'm saying. I heard everything from Kiss to Def Leppard, and as far as music wise,
that was it. Like,
no, there was more in between there.
But I'm just saying that was
all in the same genre.
That genre there,
music.
yeah. So this definitely had
let's current the music up a bit.
There you go. Another possible critique.
Yeah.
And you know, one thing I wanted to talk.
Because I don't have to hear "Pour Some Sugar on Me."
No.
For anybody's entrance. Yeah, I don't.
Dude, here's how I look at intro music. And I know we used to talk about this back in our day, you know, and I know we were always on the same oh, man, dude, I know some things we disagreed with booking, some things we obviously did agree with, but the one thing I think that we were always on point with was music selection.
Yeah.
There are literally millions of songs. Ladies and gentlemen, wrestlers, promoters, listen to me. Listen to the words I'm saying. There are literally millions of songs in all genres.
Right.
It's cool to mix it up.
Yeah.
It is cool to mix it up.
Yeah.
Maybe,
I understand, you know, that song recognition, you know, you're going for that.
Sure, yeah.
That has been with every independent wrestler
man,
you could ever think of.
Yeah, it's okay to reach out of your comfort zone with your music. And you know, just because it's your favorite song, just because you love Pour Some Sugar. Hell, I love Pour Some Sugar on Me, man. If I'm in a club and that song comes on, I'm going to get up, you know.
Nasty.
Hey, man, I mean, it's all right. It's all right.
Nasty.
But just because it's my favorite song doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the best entrance music for my character. You know, not once again, not dogging out, not putting down. Just saying maybe there's a lot of songs out there.
Right.
And if somebody's already used a song or wrestler, then don't use it.
Yeah.
That's something else.
Association.
Yes, man.
It is.
I mean, once again, there are literally
it's
millions.
like Vic the Bruiser. I'll give you an example. Vic the Bruiser used Kiss's War Machine.
See, there you go. That's Taz. That's Taz.
The first thing you associate
it
that
is.
with.
It's absolutely Taz. I mean, in fact, I was actually going to use that as an example. I've heard so many independent workers come out. Hey, man, if nothing else, do what we do. Reach out to some independents, man. Reach out to some locals. Hey, you may fuck up and help out a local band. You may fuck up and be able to sell some of their shit at your show and get a little taste of that. Man, there are options to help each other out. When you have a wrestling ring, you have potential.
Yes.
To reach people and to help other people out.
Right.
You don't have to put yourself in those boxes, man. So, you know, I want to talk about one other aspect of wrestling in these shows, and that's the flyer.
Okay.
I want to touch on it, man, because I had a slight issue with one of the flyers, man.
Right.
Once again, this is not dogging out, man. This is not insulting. This is not... And you guys got to remember, me and Mikey both have been wrestling promoters. We've both been bookers. We have a different viewpoint than everybody else in this thing. There's very few people that can view it like we view it from that backstage. So we do tend to pick shit apart. I do. Man, I'm the worst. I will pick a fucking match apart. I will pick the music apart. I will pick the flyer apart, which is what I'm kind of going to do now for the USA guys. First of all, I like the pop of it. I like the colors. One thing that I think maybe the Millennium Wrestling Federation can maybe look into, I understand the Millennium Wrestling Federation's mostly red and black flyers have that grittiness to it. And I understand that, and I see where they're coming from. I did, however, prefer more colorful, especially the red, white, and blue. It pops.
I like clear.
Clear,
I like really clear.
Yeah, the Millennium Wrestling Federations, man, it's not very clear. But once again, they're going for that grittiness. They're going for that almost metal kind of fly. You know what I'm saying? In a way, you know,
an alternative
grunge, grunge type. You know, and I dig that, and I dig why. You know. But the thing about it is, man, if you don't, especially, and this is directed to the MWF. When you've been in town, you know, because let's say this flyer design is at least 10 years old. You know, the MWF's been around for 20, so I think it's a safe bet to say this flyer design has basically been around for a decade. Man, if it looks similar every week, and the only thing that really changes is the date, and I mean, you can change some other stuff, but if the overall scheme, man, if you put that flyer in the same spot for 10 years, it's going to start blending into the background. It's not going to pop. It's not going to catch your eye as well as it could. You know, once again, man, everybody, you know, just because we're saying it doesn't mean you should do it. You know, but that's my opinion, man, and that's what I want to put out there. The thing about the USA main events flyer, I did like it better because it pops more. Well, I like certain aspects of it better. There's other things I did not like about it, and that what I did not like about the flyer that the USA guys put out. And man, I think this can go for all independent federations. Guys, look, okay, here's a hard truth. And I may get some hate on me for this, Mike. But you know, dude, it's the PUDcast. I'll say what I feel.
We're trying to be real.
We're trying to be as real as we can possibly be. Guys, if there's not a national star in your show, you don't necessarily have to put all your performers on the flyers. I'm not being a dick, but if Sting's at your show, put Sting on your fucking flyer.
Oh, absolutely.
If, you know, man, okay, I'll just put Outlaw. If the Outlaw Keith Matthews is on your show, man, you may not necessarily need to put that on there. You know, for the average fan, for the people you're trying to bring in. I'm not being a dick. The only thing is, man, is when you put... It clutters it up, and it takes away very precious real estate. Which brings me back to the USA guys. There's no address on there, Mike. Not only is there no address for the venue, man, there's not an address for where to buy their tickets. Man, now they have the dairy treats. But what if I'm not from Lincoln, man? Or what if I am from Lincoln and I'm a wrestling fan, but I really don't know where that's at? Are you going to really make a fan work to find out where to get? Because, man, a lot of people, a lot of wrestling fans, man, they just may do it as you know, spontaneously. Well, fuck it, man, let's go to the wrestling show. Where is it? Fuck, I don't know. I mean,
I know I talked to you about this. When we looked at the flyers, and it was a 50-seater,
right?
And they were selling the tickets at the downtown Dairy Treats,
right?
I had counted 75 in that place.
You're right on, right?
If they had put out a flyer with an address,
dude,
it's hard to tell.
It's hard to tell. It is.
But they would have had to turn everybody away.
But
over that 75, because there's no way you could have put any more people in that place.
But here's the thing.
It would have been... It could have happened.
I have no problem turning away people. Because
right.
you know what? Next time, get here earlier.
See, I feel differently because if you have to turn away those people are going to be pissed off.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, man.
Especially if they made a trip.
Yeah, but at the same time, man.
If they're out of town, if they come out of town, drove all the way to town just to be turned away, that would have been a pissed off moment.
Well, now, man, my retort to that is if you're going to be driving and making a big, like trip out of this thing, get your fucking tickets in advance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
if you can find them,
yeah,
you know where they're
exactly.
at. You know, if
right,
you know where to
yeah.
actually go buy them.
I definitely think the address should be.
Yeah.
Of course, with Facebook and everything and Google, you can easily find where this is at.
But my thing is, man, let's not make the fans work for it. Because,
right.
man,
right.
I mean, dude, I know how I am. I'd be like, I wonder where it's at. Oh, I don't know. Well, fuck it.
Right.
I can find something else to do.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, really. And
yeah.
I don't think that you can hurt yourself by putting the address on it.
If they had a bigger place,
oh, absolutely,
yeah. I feel if you're turning away people, it just hurts.
But here's the thing: we don't know if they would. We don't even know if you'd have to turn away people. You know what I'm saying? Let's find out. Let's put that shit on there.
As far as 75 people in top, there's no fucking way. I was about to die in that place with 75 people in there.
Well, no, but my point is, man, like, you're not going to know if you're going to draw that many people if you don't put the address on there to begin with.
Right.
And one other thing, dude, and this is
maybe that's the thing too, is they were fishing to see, if people would buy these tickets.
True that.
Apparently they sold 50 of them.
It worked. It did work.
And were able to open up 25 more on that.
That's true, but man, I'm just old school with it. You know, I believe in giving as much information as you can to get people to come in that door. Once again, man, not taking away from any of the talent, not taking away from any of that, man, but when you put so much on your flyer that where you can't get that address or how much it is. I don't even know if they have the ticket prices on there, man. They do. It's small. Yeah. It's very small, but it is on there.
Yeah.
Once again, man, and I'm not trying to call out names or putting like that, man, but if you've not been on television or if you don't have a big independent following,
right,
I don't know why putting people that the average fan off the street knows is really going to help with the sales, man.
I don't think Luscious Lenny Lips helped.
I'm just saying, brother. I'm just saying. I mean, that was kind of where I was getting to. I think you would get man.
To be there.
I just think you get more in.
You have a couple of your top guys or what are supposed to be your champions or
your main event, maybe
main event.
Yeah.
The big guy coming in or coming down from wherever.
Or if it's a gimmick match, like if you're having a cage match, put a cage match on it. It doesn't matter who the cage match is against, man. People are going to come to see the cage, not who's in it necessarily, unless you are a national name.
The one thing I had a problem with the flyer on the USA main event was there is wrestling on there,
but it doesn't say pro wrestling.
Well, I'm not so stickler. I'm not such a stickler for pro wrestling and wrestling. As long as wrestling's big on there, just put big wrestling.
Something to let people know. Because, man, I see Memorial Mayhem, but I'm not. I mean, obviously,
I don't
man.
know what these dudes are doing.
I don't know. They may be. But we do. We do know it.
We obviously do. And you got.
But still, man.
A lot of times you have to peanut butter and jelly stuff for people. Or they don't know. They don't know if this is
a band.
A band.
I mean, what's Memorial Mayhem? What is Memorial Mayhem?
Right.
It's a wrestling show. How would I know that?
Yeah.
Dude, I believe in things popping.
Yes.
And when you have wrestling on a flyer, that attracts wrestling fans. They're like, oh, what is it? Oh, Memorial Mayhem, man. It's a wrestling show. Yeah. Like I said, man, it's cool to have your crew on here. It's cool to have their pictures on there. Just like with the Millennium. I'm not just talking about, dude, this is every independent.
Oh, yeah.
This is every single independent show that's going on. Not just MWF, not just USA.
And flip that over to the MWF flyer. pro wrestling is huge on there.
It's huge, man.
MWF is not so much.
Not so
I
much.
can't tell.
Yeah.
I cannot tell now.
You know, man, we're looking at it in real time, and yeah, the MWF is kind of blurry.
Yeah.
You can't really see, but at least you do see.
The address is small too.
It is, man, but it's on there.
Yeah, it's on there.
You can still take a picture with your phone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You can
Right.
still know where it's at. You know, they got kids 6 and under free. Free's pretty big. That's an eye catcher, people.
Free is always good.
If you can do anything for free, put that
Yes.
shit on the flyer.
Yes.
Something else, man, that I would maybe suggest, if you do have like 50 seats, like for the USA guys, instead of saying only 50 seats, just say limited seats. You know what I'm saying? That kind of gives a little bit more of like, oh shit, man, we got to get there quick. You know what I'm saying? It's just little things, man. It's little marketing things, you know. Once again, guys, I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's my viewpoint. And back when we used to do this, that was kind of our take on these kind of things. You know, if you can get free on that motherfucker, get free on there. Get the price on there, man. People got to know what they're paying.
What do you think of, and I was thinking about this last night as well, because I'm in that pay-per-view, that show mode of what time should a show start.
Well, for my old ass, the earlier the better. I ain't even gonna lie, brother.
Sometimes it doesn't apply to you and your old man sleep habits.
But a regular, normal person.
What should an ideal time start a show at?
I'm okay with 8 o'clock.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe.
Or you're looking at a 2-hour show.
2-hour show. I don't think a show should go much over 2 hours. I mean, that's a movie.
Right.
You know, that's how I look at it. You have intermission too, so you can even maybe push that to 15. So, something like that. Or you can even maybe have an early match, like a quote unquote dark match. You know what I'm saying? Just something to maybe get the crowd a little warmed up. I'm cool with 8.
Yeah.
I think that's especially on the weekends.
Yeah.
I think that's a good time.
Right.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think you want to go. You don't want to have people in there past 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
That's the one thing you don't. You don't want to have your crew in
That's
there
true.
past 11 o'clock.
That is true.
I think you can go 8 to 10, 10:30 latest.
I know with USA main event, doors open at 6:30. Show start at 7:30.
7:30. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
With MWF, doors open at 7.
Yeah.
Bell time was at 8.
Right. Correct. Right.
I think we got about the same time.
Yeah, I know we was hitting each other up. We stayed in contact during both shows or during the shows.
Right.
And I got out of there right at 10. And brother, I'm talking when that bell rang.
The doors opening at 7, and there's an hour wait between them.
Yeah.
Do you think that's necessary, or it should be shortened out?
Brother, I think it's okay to go ahead and get people in there because you can maybe get more concession sales. Maybe it's a good time to sell your gimmicks.
They sold some water.
Yeah, I bet so, man. Yeah. Might be why the air was, Hey, that's a good little marketing trick.
There you go.
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Man, maybe one thing. My armchair booking's always going to be there. I'm always going to say, maybe you could do this, maybe you can do that. And once again, I'm not trying to step on toes. I want everybody to understand that this is just my opinion.
And this is even coming from just me, not even promoting or anything, as a fan. Because, that's right now. This is the first independent show I've been to in a long time.
Right.
And just sit back and look at it as a fan.
Just strictly as a fan, I think, man, one thing that I would maybe suggest is instead of having that hour where nothing's going on, maybe have some of the guys come out, maybe do some autograph signing. I know they do at an intermission, but the thing about intermission, man, is like you still got the show to put on.
Yeah.
And sometimes people out here signing autographs and shit like that can drag it out.
Right. Yeah.
It's almost like go get your water, take a piss, get a hot dog.
Yeah.
Let's get back, man. Maybe a little before the show that would actually maybe even motivate people to,
get the flow
back to it. Yeah. And once
it.
again, man, that's not a right or wrong thing. That's just something that just as we're talking about it right now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go into the show a little bit, man.
Okay.
I do want to go into it. And I actually did make a couple notes, man. Believe it or not.
I'll be damned.
Believe it or not, man. I mean, they're very broken, and I'm probably going to forget a lot of shit, man. I was feeling pretty good when I went in that place last night. Let's put it like that.
Lubed.
I was lubricated. Let's put it like that, man. So I may forget some shit.
I wasn't. I forgot everything.
Forgot shit.
Yeah, I forgot everything.
Man, the show started out. They actually had a representative from, I guess it's one of the revolutionary guys who does like the Ramshooter's meal. Like he was dressed up in full revolutionary gear, came out with the old school American flag.
Right.
So that was pretty cool. You know, I was even telling a buddy of mine. Yeah, you know, I was telling a buddy of mine, I was like, damn, I kind of wish that guy was a wrestler.
Right,
you know, coming out with the gimmick, you know.
Yeah.
But that was a cool way to start it, man. We did the national anthem, you know, everybody stood and did that. Now, man, this is where my memories gets a little weird, Mike. God damn it, I should have made a little bit better notes here, but the match started out with Mikado, a friend of ours, who's actually been on the show before. Chris Eisenberg, that's his alter ego, and he was basically in a squash match versus Pierre. You know, Pierre's one of the mass kind of enhancement talents that the MWF has. Dude, one thing about Mikado I got to put over, his ring gear, because you know he that's what he does, man. He's a craftsman. You know, he builds, he designs.
Right.
Dude, his ring gear, second to none.
Yeah.
There is nobody on the independent circuit that even comes close to what he comes out in and what he wears and what he presents himself. But man, this was a good solid match. It was okay. You know, it was a squash. You know, one thing I'll say about every match, and I know we're going to kind of go more into critiquing a little bit later, every match was on point as far as the length goes. You know what I'm saying? Nothing ever felt like dragged out too much or anything like that. Mikado wins, you know, and this is where we had kind of where they started running some of the angles. There was a run-in. You had the Outlaw Keith Matthews. You had Scott Simpson, Scott. God, is that right? Simpson? Shit. Simon. Fucking A, man. Jesus Louise. Told you I should have took better notes, man. But they come out, and they're the baby faces. The Men of Business come out, which is Aaron Ace, Matty Ice, and is it JJ Fett? Yeah, JJ Fett, yeah. They come out. Kind of put a beat down on the old guys. That was kind of fun, you know, to watch that happen. But they're running an angle. And, man, one thing I really want to put... And like I said, dude, they're probably listening like, no, that ain't how it went on. Like I said, man, I was... Dude, I was pretty fucked up when the show started,
Jesus,
man.
God,
I'm not gonna lie, dude. Dude, I did too much, man. I did too much.
Too much.
Too much. I was like, God damn, man. It's like, fuck, I didn't mean this to happen. But I had fun, man. And, you know, dude, I want to say something.
Anybody that works at MWF, you can send your mail to Jason Finger at P.O. Box.
And, you know, man, one thing I want to say, just on a personal note, man, I've had last few days have been kind of shitty. I'm not going to lie, man.
It's been a tough week.
It's been a very fucking hard week, man. The last couple of days have been kind of just a kick in the balls. And if it wasn't for this podcast and if it wasn't for us having this show planned, I would have not went out last night.
Right.
I would have stayed home and just probably overthink myself into a fucking coma.
Yeah.
You know, I would have had a bad night.
Yeah.
Being able to go out, seeing these guys doing what they do, man, it was very needed. It was much needed, man. So I just wanted to put that out there, man. I don't know if those guys who were performing last night realized how much it helped me on a personal level. Thank you, guys. Yeah. Thank God for you guys, man. I just want to put that out there. And like I said, man, the one thing that I really, there's a lot of things I want to put the MWF over, is that, you know, they run more serial shows, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's, there's always that fucking debate, man. Do you want to be episodic? In other words, every show stands on its own, or do you want to be serial where every show leads into the next? You know,
right.
It's so hard, man, to get both, because that's what you got to try to do. You got to try to have both elements, and that's hard. Yeah. The MWF did it exceptionally well, right? Because to run the angle with Chris Baldwin, you know, he's retired now. Him and Ray Hansen, the champion, you know, both those guys have been on the show as well. Yeah, good guys, kayfabe, you know, great guys. But they're running an angle, man, where he's out and he's not supposed to be in the ring, so he had to buy a ticket. They did a very great job of explaining the storyline without explaining the storyline. I just want to put those guys over for that, man, because I knew exactly what was going on coming out of the street. Right. You know, because I haven't been in so long and I haven't really kept up with it. I knew what they were talking about. Exactly. They put it over. Like I said, man, it was a good segment. You know, basically Chris ended up buying a seat, you know, and he stayed in for the show and everything. And that was a cool angle. They beat the hell out of Jeff and Scott, man. We're like, we need Life Alert up in here, man. These old guys just got beat down, you know. But it was a cool segment, man, and it really put over the show moving forward. And like I said, we had Mikado and Pierre and Ego, the alter ego, Marshall Simmons, I believe is his name. Once again, guys, I'm I'm still learning names here. I'm sorry. Good guy, man. Good wrestler. Very, very good.
Yeah.
But he doesn't run in. They're having a feud, so they have a beat down and, all that. But good stuff, man. The next match was Devin. And, man, can you see what his last name is? It Reed, I believe?
Yes.
Devin Reed?
Yes.
Yes. He's going against Casey Kilgore. Man, let me say something about Casey.
Uh-huh.
I love this guy to death, man.
Yeah.
He's a guy. I know you've met Casey.
Oh, yeah.
He's about to be family. You know what I'm saying? Bro, this guy has been hitting the gym. He has dropped so much body fat and has gained so much bulk. If you would have had him in a mask, I would not have known who he was.
Right.
When he walked out, I was like, holy shit, dude. So I want to give him a special shout out, man, and give him his props because he is working his fucking ass off.
Right.
You don't get a body like that, man. You don't change your body like that by sitting on the couch and not hitting the fucking gym.
Exactly.
That motherfucker is on point. His diet's on point. His workout's on point. And, brother, his work rate's on point.
Right.
This was a good match, man. This is maybe, but me being my armchair booking here, this is probably the only match that I did disagree with the finish.
Right.
He's going against this guy, Devin Reed. I'm not familiar with him at all. Devin's still learning. Dude, and let me just put something out there with the MWF, man. They're all still in the process of harnessing their craft. Man.
Right.
I want to put that out there. Well, and I'll get some more of that, as we go. In other words, man, there were a couple little slip-ups.
Right.
There was a couple little botches here and there.
It happens.
It happens, man. It does happen. But he was over, man.
Right.
He is a baby face in the pure sense of the word. Casey was throwing him around like a fucking rag doll. Casey, I can't put over his work rate enough, man.
Yeah.
The only problem, in my opinion, man, but being the armchair booker over here, Devin went over clean. It was a great movie.
Right.
He hit him with that bulldog off, where they run up the ropes and hit the bulldog. I forget the name of the move itself.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I'm saying, where you got him in a front headlock, you run up the ropes and you bulldog.
Right.
A solid move. I give Casey all the props in the world for putting him over. In my opinion, from what I saw last night, I think Casey is the heel to have.
Yeah.
To put in that spot, man. Like I said, his work rate's amazing. He's in tremendous shape.
Mm-hmm.
He's a heel, man.
He's the guy.
He's the guy.
Yeah.
And having the new guy or a newer guy kind of go over clean.
Right.
I was like, shit, man. You know.
Yeah.
Still a great match. Like I said, there was a couple slip-ups here and there.
Did he get his heat after? Or?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. He kept his heat, man. He did. He kept his heat.
Well, as long as he keeps his heat, it doesn't hurt him.
No.
I mean,
and it's set up for their next match coming up, Once again, man, I really thought this was a good match. Like I said, a couple little slip-ups here and there.
Right.
But overall, man, it was a very fun, entertaining match. And like I said, I cannot put over Casey enough, man. Yeah. Not only for his work rate, but also just the work he's been putting in the gym and in the kitchen. Because just like I do, brother, it's all of it. It's not just one. It's the whole package.
Yeah.
And you got to be dedicated. You got to be, man. Dude, anybody can go hit the weights, man.
Yep.
But I mean, and anybody can eat, fucking chicken breast every day.
Right.
But to do both and to keep it like that and to make the kind of transformation he's made, you've got to put that over, man. And like I said, that's my suggestion for Casey is he should be in the highest level, really, man. Anyway, man, so the next one was JJ Fett, who I've seen, but I've never really watched wrestle. I knew of him. I've seen him around.
Right.
And he was going against Chaos Keith.
Okay. Yeah.
This was my favorite match of the night.
Really?
Yeah. I'm a fan of both these guys. Like I said, it was the first time I got to see JJ wrestle. Good guy, man. I mean, good worker. Keith is all over the fucking place.
Keith is amazing. He's like a firecracker with a bouncy ball mixed together.
Yeah. He's 100 miles an hour the whole time, man. Doing good spot. Once again, man, I would say in almost every match, dude, there were some slip-ups.
Right.
We'll get to that kind of later on in the show. I want to address that at some point, man. And like I said, man, this is not being overly critical, but, man, it's from my viewpoint.
Absolutely.
And I do pick shit apart. Right. I do. It's just... I don't think you can do what we've done and not be able to do that. But no, man, the match itself was great. Some good spots. High pace, man, fast paced match. Once again, dude, the match went the right amount of time. Not once in in any of those matches did I feel like it drug out.
Right.
Because you can always feel it. You
Yeah.
can feel when it's time to take it home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like I said, dude, great match. The next segment, and this is right before the intermission. This guy named Adrian Wolf. Okay, now I'm not familiar with him. Obviously, I see him on the flyer. You know, I know of him, and I've talked to him in the past briefly. You
Right.
know. Okay, here was what I liked, and here's what I didn't like.
Okay.
It was an interview segment. I forget the name of the segment. Man, they said it. I couldn't hear it too well. Like conversation with the Wolf or talk with the Wolf.
Let me ask you about that, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no.
Just 1 second. How are the mic sounds?
Pretty good.
Good.
They're good, man. Oh, let me say something else, dude. Yeah, because we'll circle back around to this. The way that Outlaw has that fucking thing set up now, that whole building,
The whole
with the whole production, with the curtains.
Right.
They even have a screen up now.
Yeah.
Dude.
It's a game changer.
It is on fucking
Yeah.
point.
Oh yeah,
brother.
You wouldn't know.
No,
You wouldn't know where you were,
dude. Even
if
when
somebody blindfolded you and just put you right in the middle, you wouldn't know.
No.
Not know where the fuck you were.
Howard's Creek. This ain't fucking Howard's Creek. No, man.
No,
And dude,
this is Studio A.
and I tell you something else that they finally started doing, Mike. Jesus, even when I was booking, man, you know, and I know we talked about this on the MWF Classic era show. When you're in a booking team,
Yeah.
sometimes when you get outvoted, it straight pisses you the fuck off,
Right.
man. 2-1. And the one thing that I always got outvoted on, that I'm glad to see that they are doing it the way I like to do it, is they're finally using the 2 entrances now.
Right. Yeah.
Because that was always my thing. I'm like, guys, heels, faces, let's come
Yeah.
out these fucking doors.
Yeah.
No, man, we're going to use the stage.
Yeah.
No. Outvoted, motherfucker. Outvoted,
right.
outvoted. Now they're doing that.
They've done it before.
Oh, have they?
I remember when I came back that second time, we're using 2 different entrances.
Good.
I like that.
Yeah.
But eventually,
They went back to the stage.
we went back to the stage for whatever reason. I think.
I get it for the production of the
Right.
intro. I
Yeah.
get coming out the main. I get it. I always did.
Absolutely.
I always got it.
Because it's hard to do 2 productions on those 2 corners.
Exactly.
Right.
But at the same
Yeah.
time, man, it's a perfect setup for
That's
kayfabe.
it. Now that you can cover that shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, dude, and when
You
I
got
saw
coverage
that,
all over everything, yeah,
Dude.
it works.
it is so good.
Because it's like it's different, and you know as well as I do, because we've done it both ways a few times. It's different coming through a curtain than it is
A door.
A door.
It is.
And
It
having to
is.
shut the door
It
back
is.
behind.
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
I mean,
or
you know?
if you fuck up and can't get the door open, you know what I'm saying? Or somebody locks that motherfucker, you know?
Yeah, so they
But-
can get out.
But wait, well, the way Jeff's
Yeah,
got
it's
it,
tough.
and the way Jeff's got it set up, though, man, he's got like a curtain
Yeah.
at the doors
Yeah.
now, so you have both, man. You have
Right,
both aspects,
right.
man. It's
Exactly.
a perfect fucking
Yeah.
mixture, man.
Yeah.
And I was so happy to see that. In
Because it
fact,
kind of takes away, like I said, when
Yeah.
they see you come out and you have to turn around and shut the door.
I mean, you can't really make that big
Yeah.
popping intro, you know, when
No.
you're coming through a door and you
Yeah.
shut. Yeah, but they got the curtains up at the doors, so
Yeah.
you get the best of both worlds
Right.
now. And like I said, I was actually talking to a buddy of mine I saw up there, and I'm like, thank God they're doing this. And
Yeah.
I started bitching about getting outvoted. I was like, man, I used to say this all the time, and I get out fucking voted. I'm still a little bitter, 2 dogs.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
you're listening.
But it didn't look like that back then.
no, bro,
Nowhere near
not
that.
even fucking close. Man.
Nowhere near like
not,
that.
Not even,
No.
not in the same neighborhood, man.
Right.
But here's the thing about this interview segment.
Okay.
Man, okay, well, what I did not like is I didn't get to see him wrestle. He didn't wrestle. He just had
Right.
an interview segment. It almost reminded you of Elias to a certain degree. In fact, there was even people in the crowd because, you know, he has long hair.
Uh-huh.
They turned out all the lights. They had a spotlight. It was still a little too dark.
Right.
And he had his back. I understand
Well,
why.
this is like a darker character, right?
Yes, I think. I don't know, man. I'm not familiar. That's,
Right.
that's the thing.
I
It's-
want to say it's like a darker character.
It feels like it,
Right.
You know, with the way they set it up. The only thing, man, another little slight criticism. He had his back to the fans, and he's facing the stage because there was a camera there.
Right.
I get why you're doing that for production,
Yep.
for the show, for the video that you're going to put
Right.
up on YouTube later.
Yeah.
But at the same time, man, you got your back on the crowd.
Exactly.
Turn them around, put the
Right.
camera in front of the crowd, yeah, that's my opinion, man. Once again, there's no right or wrongs here. I'm just saying,
right.
That kind of bothered me a little bit. I'm like, I'll turn around, man. I can't see you. You know, I can't see you at all.
Yeah.
It's dark, and I just don't know. It went a little long. The interview went a little long. In fact, he said something. He was setting up the match between him and Brad Adams coming up at their next Super Show, and I'm thinking to myself, holy shit, that's perfect, man. Stop. You know, because it already gone on for a little while.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, that's perfect. But then he kept going.
Right.
And then he went a little longer.
Right.
I was like, shit, man.
Yeah.
Okay, with that criticism being put out there, let me go ahead and get that shit out of the way.
Okay.
Hottest segment of the night,
really,
by far. That crowd did not shut up, man. I've not heard a better promo in a very fucking long time, man.
Right.
This guy has promo skills.
Yeah.
But like I said, dude, just to criticize it at all, I would tell him, hey, man, stop a little sooner.
Right.
You had it. You
too much.
Just slightly, man. Yeah. I'm talking a short and curly, man.
Right.
Short and curly.
Yeah.
You overshot it by. In fact, you can even hear people in the crowd say, "Oh, you've already said that 3 times." You know, you hear people. It's like, damn
Once
it, man.
you start repeating stuff,
yeah. But he's loud. He was yelling in the mic. It got a little loud actually at certain points. I will say that, man. And it did distort, man. That was the only time the mic worked. But you know me in interview segments, man. I get a little burned out on interview segments. And I remember thinking to myself, all right, man, let's get a match. Then I'm listening. I'm like, no, the fucking crowd's white hot.
Right.
Actually, keep going.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And he never lost it, man. Even with that little bit of criticism I have about going long, he still kept the crowd.
Right.
The whole time.
Yeah.
In fact, Chris was sitting beside me because he was still kayfabe in the crowd, so he would be moving spot to spot, so he came and sit beside me. And I just reached over and said, damn, man. I said, this motherfucker can cut a promo. And even Chris was like, oh, yeah. You know, he's the shit.
Yeah.
I would have loved to seen him wrestle.
Yeah.
Even if it was a squash match, man. Even if it was against a mask. Maybe right after that interview segment, bring in somebody, put him over, man.
Yeah.
Let me see what he can do in the ring. Which I hear he's great in the ring, too. So, as of right now, man, that might be my favorite MWF guy.
Yeah.
Like I said, dude, that interview was white hot.
Yeah.
White hot. Like I said, man, I would say maybe just end it a little sooner. You know.
Yeah.
But other than that, man, it was white hot. Great promo. Just cannot put it over enough. Heat. In fact, even in my notes, I got heat in all caps right beside it, man. It was hot. All right, man. So at this point, we go into intermission. You know, your solid intermission. You know, nothing major. They had a drawing and everything. So anyway, man, we come back and we have men on a mission, and that was Aaron Ace and Matty Ice.
Okay.
Love both these guys to death, man. And they're going against Brad Adams, who is fucking amazing, man. He's a damn good worker, bro.
Yeah.
And probably my favorite MWF wrestler right now, Willie Cool, man.
I knew you were going to say that.
You know it, dude. You know it, man.
I knew you were going to say that.
Willie Cool's the shit, man.
Right.
I think he might have thought we were fucking with him a little bit because, dude, I was talking shit, man. I'm like, Willie Cool, he ain't no fool. He gonna attend y'all to school, you know, just talking shit like that, man. And
I've been like, who the fuck is this guy?
Dude, when the first time I heard the name Willie Cool.
Who let this guy out?
Dude. Man, nah, dude. I love the name. He's got charisma. I didn't get to see him work as much, man. I didn't necessarily like the booking on this one either, man. Just to put it out there. Well, first of all, man, before we go too deep into it, the fucking rope broke in this match.
Wow, that's always...
Now, dude...
always sucks.
What do you do, Mike? Because they don't have a spare.
Right.
Hey, guys, get a spare rope. I thought about that shit last night. I was like, damn, what the fuck do you do in that situation?
Let's go.
I mean, well, here's the thing, Mike. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't disagree with you. But here's the problem with keep going.
Yeah.
Brother, they had to stop working. I mean, they had to stop. They couldn't run into the ropes. I mean, it really took you out of the show. Because, I mean, if you run in the motherfuckers, you're taking a hit. You're taking them out. Yeah. What do you do?
Yep.
You know, I mean, really, man, that's an impossible situation because you can't really cancel the show.
No.
You can't really do that, but if you keep going...
There's ways around it.
But, man...
There's ways around it. And you should always be prepared for that.
I agree with that.
I know when I trained, I was always prepared for that.
Yeah.
Because we were prepared for that. I know and I taught a lot of the guys, if anything ever happens to the ropes, man, you got to finish this thing.
You got to figure it out.
And I remember training. I know I did this with a lot of the guys, but I remember training with using no ropes at all.
Yeah. Right.
We were in that with Christo. He could probably tell you as well. No ropes. Yeah. We don't use these ropes at all.
Right.
We run a match in here. We don't use these ropes at all.
That's actually, man, a good thought. Yeah, good thinking. Yeah, I haven't even really.
You just got to work around it.
Man, the thing is,
there's ways to work around it.
There are,
for sure.
I still suggest having that spare. Something we never did.
Right.
We never had a spare. I was like I said, dude, when I'm driving home last, I'm like, damn, what do you do in that situation? And then a light bulb, have a spare.
Right.
I'm like, well, fuck, man, we never thought about that.
Right.
The problem is, man, is these guys I don't think have been trained in that with that mentality. Mm-hmm. And when you're whipping somebody in the ropes and then they slow down and stop, and then like hit the middle ropes, kind of.
I don't think a lot of the guys. You look, a lot of the guys now on the independents and even in the main roster. Obviously, in WWE and bigger companies, you got that. You can finish the match and they can come out there and work on the ring.
Yeah, right.
Obviously,
right.
That can happen, but as high spot as the bigger companies are in independents,
what do you do?
I don't think they've ever been
in that situation.
I don't want to say in that situation, but I don't think they've had that training or that foresight to
work around it. Yeah,
what if?
And man, maybe something just here talking about, something else maybe you could do. Now, this would be a little time consuming, obviously. You're right in the middle of the show. Maybe take the middle rope and move it to the top, because if you have that top rope,
that's terrible. That is a good way to get hurt.
Well, that's true too, man. Because you'll go right through them motherfuckers. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, there's your
best bet is just get rid of that bottom rope.
If you're going to do it, do the bottom rope, because you're not really going to go underneath them, man. But you're going to fall right through them if it's the middle. You're right, brother. I didn't think about that. But in other words, move one to the.
Yeah.
You got to have the two top ones to it. But man, it did kind of take me out of it. Right. It did, obviously, But what are they supposed to do? I think they did a damn good job working around it, man. Mm-hmm. I really do. Like I say, man, the match was cool, but it wasn't really cool. And the reason why it wasn't really cool, and this is another little issue I had with the booking, man. Okay. Once again, my favorite wrestler, Willie Cool, gets taken out a little early. They fight back to the back.
Oh no!
I know, man. What are you supposed to do without Willie Cool, dude? Seriously, I'm like, what the fuck, man?
That's like losing Big Rig Jake Brake.
That's what I'm saying, man. Fuck that. But
I'm out.
I'm out. I'll see you. But no, man, it was a cool angle though. I do like the angle. I wanted to see more Willie Cool, man.
Yeah.
Because I am a fan of the name. He's got that charisma. But basically, man, he gets taken to the back by I think it was JJ Fett, if I'm not mistaken, if my memory serves correctly. So Brad was out there by himself in basically a handicap match.
Right.
Well, Outlaw comes in. Outlaw's not active, man. He doesn't really wrestle that much. You know? So it's kind of a big deal when he gets in the ring.
Yeah.
And it was hot, man. I'm not gonna lie, it was hot. So he comes out to fill in for Willie Cool, gets the tag. Obviously, they get over. And it was cool, man. It was cool, but I was even booing because I was like, we want Willie Cool. We want Willie Cool in here. And I'm doing
the old Willie.
Yeah, we want Willie Cool, man. But it was a good match, man. It was hot, and dude, there's no denying when Outlaw gets in that fucking ring, he has not lost any of his charisma, man. It's just like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
When he tagged in, the place went nuts. Hell, I marked out. Yeah. I'm still mad because Willie Cool ain't in the show, but I'm marking out.
Yeah.
And I'm doing the whole Outlaw, woo, woo, woo. That's like my little...
Oh, God.
That's like
Dusty
my little...
Rhodes.
Yeah, yes, it's the straight-up Dusty Rhodes thing. Yeah. And I don't know if anybody was picking up on it, man, but I know I was getting on people's nerves, man. Because I was like, Outlaw, woo, woo. The whole time he's out there, man. And but it was fun. But, dude, before I get to the main event, which I didn't write down by this point, man, I was so fucking fried, man. I couldn't even fucking see straight. But, man, I missed the memo that you ain't supposed to boo the referees anymore.
What?
Dude, Fucking Trey. You know Trey.
Yeah.
You know, Trey's one of the referees.
Uh-huh.
But, dude, he's one of the first. As soon as he walks out, I am the only motherfucker in the building. Boo. And everybody looks at me like I'm a dickhead, man. Everybody's like, how dare you fucking boo the referee?
Is it a referee sensitive
Yes,
town?
yes, man. I was like, damn, dude. I looked at it because Chris was still sitting beside me. I'm like, damn, dude, when was it not cool to boo the refs? He goes, well, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And I'm like, damn, dude, I missed the fucking memo. Because, I mean, I love booing the refs, man.
Okay.
That's my favorite shit is to boo the referee.
Okay, I'll go back to that on that USA main event. Okay, and this is weird because I would also say on this you're gonna have to have a referee that's more involved.
Yes. Yeah. You got to have a
not
good
so
ref,
much
man. Yeah.
Me personally, I'm always on the ref.
Oh, me too. Oh,
And I was the
boy.
only one that was on the ref.
See?
Because there was a lot of cheating going on.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of bullshit
And
going
ain't
on.
nobody damn calling the ref out.
And the referee's looking straight at him like, hey,
Dude,
what are you
what the
doing?
fuck?
What are you doing? But I'm the only one saying anything.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, hey, I know that's a closed fist.
Yeah, man. It's like watching
And that
ref.
was just a little thing. It's like, oh shit, it's getting more and more out of control. And he's looking straight at it. It's like,
Dude.
well, he's just
It takes you
giving up.
It takes you out of it.
But it didn't so much take me out of it. It's like, come on, man, get
with it. Yeah.
Get with it.
Yeah, and you know, Mike, I think a lot of people, and I know me and you have always known better than this, and I think a lot of us have known it.
Yeah.
You know, even in current MWF, it's the same thing, man. You know, the referees are on point.
Yeah.
I mean, they really are.
Yeah.
You can't just throw a fucking shirt on somebody and say, go referee a match.
No.
Yeah, I mean, look at like Little Tim back when he was our referee. Ref Dave, man.
Yeah.
These guys.
Oh, yeah.
You know, dude, it was funny because a few shows back we were talking about who was your favorite to work against, this and that. Really, dude? And I think I said Christian, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember exactly. But the truth of the matter is, my favorite person I ever worked with was Little Tim.
Really?
Because I was the bad guy manager, he was the referee.
Yeah.
We worked fucking great together, man.
Right.
We had our own little comedy sticks going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I was like, damn, dude. Why?
Well, I tell you what, I'll flip that and go. I loved working with Tim when Tim was my manager.
Yeah.
And I loved Dave as a referee.
Dave was great.
Dave
man.
was incredible.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I always put Little Tim a little above Dave,
Really?
slightly, just because I think Little Tim took to it better. Honestly, like Dave took to it, but I
Right.
think it took him a little longer than it did Tim.
It really did. But once he got
Oh,
there,
brother, it was on. It was 100 miles an
Loved
hour,
working.
man.
Loved
Oh.
working with Dave. Anything.
Anytime, man. Yeah, I love. But man, that when me and Little Tim, when Little Tim first started, man, we just immediately clicked with that.
Yeah.
You know, and Dave did too. Don't get me wrong, man. Dave came into his own and went on with
Yeah.
it, man. You know, excelled at it. But that was always my favorite person to kind of have my back and forth was probably Little Tim.
Yeah.
You know, just because we had that ref manager thing going on.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, man, I was just kind of tripping, and in fact, there was even one part where Trey came back out, and I, you know me, I'm like, fuck it, dude, I'm still gonna boo him.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And the ring announcer, and I forget his name, Diamond, man, and that guy was dressed to the fucking tens, by the way, brother.
Right.
I want to put him over, man. I guess I should have remembered his name if I was going to put him over. Diamond is his last name. I can't remember his first, but dude, this guy's dressed up straight big pimping, man.
Right.
Straight big pimping. I got to put him over, man. But anyway, man, Trey had came back out, and I was like, boo, boo. And he was like, come on, let's show the referee some love. And I was like, boo. I mean, just went up an octave with it, man.
Right.
Well, and speaking of referees, man, I'm going to go ahead and get into our main event of the evening. And the main event of the evening was, oh, Jesus, I didn't write it down. Oh, fuck. Dude. Oh, no. It was Ray Hansen. Who did he go against? Oh, Jesus, man. Who's the guy? The alter ego, man. The alter ego. Mark. Oh, God damn it. Who is it, man? The alter ego. Jesus.
I'm gonna have you struggle for it for a little bit.
God damn it. If he's listening, man, I'm in such shit right now because I'm really not putting him over. Ego, man. Marshall Simmons. Simmons. Yes. Dude, I'm a fan of this guy. I guess you could tell because I fucking forgot his name. I remember the alter ego. I remember that. But no, he was a great worker, man.
You're lubed up right now, aren't you?
No, I'm not actually. That's probably the problem, man. That's the issue.
Right.
No, man. This guy's great, dude. He's a good worker. He's funny, man. I mean, he doesn't take himself too seriously, and you can tell that, which makes it really entertaining and really fun. But
here's the thing, and I want to come to your defense on that. I know for myself, we went into this thing, we're like, we're going to journal it up. You're just going to report this stuff. You get caught up in it.
You do. I'm a fan.
You get caught up in the show.
I'm a fan, dude.
And you start out, writing stuff down or taking notes on your phone, taking pictures.
Yeah.
And by the time you're done with it, you're a fan. Your phone's nowhere in sight, and you're just into it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, man. And since I'm still not that familiar, because I have taken a lot of time away from it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the names, man, just do escape me. They just do, And I also want to put Tim Telix. I remember him, the manager for the Men of Business, man. This guy, the hardest LOL I had of the night was in the opening segment, because he didn't have a shirt on, but he had suspenders on. He had his shirt kind of opened up, and he's got a hairy.
Is that hair all? Is that hair on that chest for real?
Yeah, it's his real hair.
Holy
man.
crap!
Yeah.
My God.
But dude, I laughed my ass off because Outlaw's hitting everybody. They're having this spot, man. He just pulls one of his hairs out, and he screamed like a little girl. I laughed, dude. I said, "That's hilarious, man. This guy gets it. He's cool, man. He gets it.
All right.
In fact, when he was hugging and helping out his guys, that's when he was like, "Hey, go hug your girlfriend," and hoping I didn't get and he hate on me, which that still got over. But anyway, man, the main event, once again, dude, the rope was broken. There was a couple slip-ups in this match, man. I'm not going to lie.
Right.
But all in all, man, it was a fun match. I love Blake. I love Ray Hansen, man.
Mm-hmm.
He's so over, dude. He is.
Oh, yeah.
He's a hoss, man. He's the real deal. He power lifts. I mean, he's an athlete. He's really the guy, and he deserves it.
Yeah.
Like I said, man, there were a couple little slips here and there. But all in all, man, I really enjoyed the match. It didn't go that long. I think they did cut it short. But anyway, man, Mikado comes out, sprays him in the face. He kind of get his payback from earlier in the show when he come out, and everything to kind of jump him. So all in all, man, and then at the end, Chris comes back in, and they run the angle where since Chris stepped over the blue line, because there's a blue line that the fans can't cross, that he could either be arrested or he could sign the contract to come back to work Ray Hansen. I love that angle, man. I thought that angle was over very well done.
Yeah.
And like I said, man, from somebody who's coming in off the streets who doesn't know these angles and storylines, it made sense, and I knew where they were going.
Yeah.
That's important, man, and that's hard. That's fucking hard, and they got that. So, man, all in all, I had a good time, man. I'm so glad I went.
Yeah.
Not only just for my personal reasons, but just to see the guys, to see the performance, man, to see the talent, to see the fans, and have that personal escape, obviously helped me more than I can put into words. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things that I thought maybe critique a little bit, and then we'll talk about some of the things that I thought were really good. I think, my biggest critique right now of the Millennium Wrestling Federation. And Jeff, I know you're listening, man. So this is not meant to be negative or anything like that. I do think the guys need more practice on some of these spots, man. I don't know exactly how the booking is. What I'm trying to say, man, is I don't know if you're booking ahead of time and giving the guys enough time to practice with each other and to work out their spots, or if it's more of a spur of the moment. Hey, we're booking you and you tonight. Because some of the spots, man...
Are there a lot of high spots?
There was quite a few, man. Which I like.
Yeah.
Because it's not traditional style, man. I like that style.
Yeah.
And I would say about 75% hit,
Right.
Or if they did slip up, they saved it. But, man, there's a good about 25%, man, of the spots that needed some work.
Right.
They did need some work, man. Like I said, I'm not trying to be overly critical here.
Right.
Maybe if
you can do it, work on it. If you can't do it, don't do it.
Don't do it. And I suggest get in that fucking building as early as you can on those Saturdays. Know who you're working. If you don't know who you're working, go get on the Jeff's ass and be like, hey, man, I want to know who the fuck I'm working tonight.
Yeah.
Work on your match, man. You got 10 to 11 hours to work on a match. You can put on that show 5 times.
Right.
Really 6 if you take away intermission and the interviews. Work on your spots, because like I said, man, it takes you out of it.
Right.
But
I'm a little different on that as far as my thinking. You should be able to work whoever, anytime. If you can't do it, don't do it.
Well, the thing
if you think you can't do it, don't do it.
My whole thing, man, is I hear what you're saying. In a perfect world, you know, I mean, and granted, man, if you have a locker room that's got Steamboat, Sting, Flair, the Steiners, then yeah, you can do that, man. But these guys only get in the ring twice a month.
All right.
You're asking a lot to say you and you go in here and work these spots. You know what I'm saying, man? That's hard to do. Right. You know, you got to have that time in the ring. You know, and these guys.
I can feel you on that if you're a rookie.
Well, but man, let me ask you, dude. Do you look?
Because I mean, it's just like the rope. Anything can happen at any time.
That's true. But let me ask you, man. What do you consider a rookie? Do you go by
year?
Do you get well? Hold on.
Year or time in the ring?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man.
Year.
See, I go by time in the ring.
You have, in this day and time, you have plenty of opportunities to do your craft whenever and wherever.
When? I mean, the ring's only set up twice a month, man.
A lot of the guys never got trained in a ring.
Well, see, I'm weird about that too, man. I
mean, a lot of the guys, a lot of the vets, a lot of the pros were only trained on
like a mattress or something,
on like a
platform.
Well, no, not so much that, just a wrestling mat. You know, just part of a wrestling mat.
Yeah. No ropes.
Right.
Which I can dig that, man. But if you're going to be doing spots off the ropes, you got to be in there. See, I
think you should definitely be in there and be comfortable with what you're doing. Yeah. I don't think it affects who you're working at that time, and it shouldn't. It shouldn't.
It shouldn't, man. But there's a lot of things that shouldn't. You know, I mean, I look at more of a realistic. You know, I think that's more of an idealistic viewpoint. I look at more on a realistic.
I think it's more of a pro. It's a pro view.
But even as a pro, man, you're in there every night. You got to see, man. That's why I don't.
Not every night. A lot of the guys are every weekend.
Well, some of them, man. I mean, do go every night, or they have a ring set up. Right. You know, I mean, like when we started MWF, man, we were in there 6 days a week.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, these guys don't have that same options, man. No. And that's what I'm saying, man.
But there's other ways. There's other means.
But you also need to know who you're working, man. At this point, I get what you're saying, man. I mean, you know, this is where we just have a disagreement with it, because I think, man, if you're going to be in there, it's like a band. You know, it's like some people say, well, man, you should be able to, if you're a good enough musician, and I agree with this to a certain degree, and I agree with you to a certain degree, that you should be able to go and plug in and play any song with anybody.
Right.
Then that's the truth, man. Right. If you're a high-level musician, you can go in there, a bass player, a drummer, and a guitarist and a keyboard. Say, okay, we're going to play the blues in A minor, and we're going to shift to this and that. I can't fucking do that. I got to know who my band members are. I got to lock up with these guys. I got to train with these guys. Right. I see it kind of a similar vein of that, man.
Oh yeah, definitely for a bigger show, I would say yeah. Definitely know who you're working on a bigger show, but you know. I consider in between shows, from big show to big show, the jam session, unless you're running a major angle with something.
Yeah, man, but a jam session, you're not having you don't have a jam session and upping it up to the public, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe you can.
Absolutely.
But
it's called jazz.
I mean, you know, I can't disagree. But going back to kind of my take on rookie, man, I look at it more like a car. You know, let's say you have, let's say you buy 2 cars in 2020. Right. Let's say 2020. Yeah. Let's say, all right, you drive this car to church every Sunday. And that's it. You drive this car to your job in Charlotte that's an hour away.
Right.
Every fucking day, except on Sunday.
Yeah.
Now these cars are the same exact age. They were produced on the same exact day. But which car is going to be in better shape in 10 years? The car that drives to Charlotte every day, 6 days a week, or the car that drives to church once a week? That's how I look at the rookie.
Are you talking about veterans or rookies now? You're just wearing out the old car.
I'm just talking about, dude. I'm just talking about driving to Charlotte, man.
Yeah. You're wearing out that car.
The car's gonna get beat up, man. Yeah. But I look at it more as mileage.
That's just the difference between a good rookie and a bad rookie.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that completely.
And in this day and age, I will say this. You have options to go other places and work different.
That's true. Now I will say that too,
to get more mileage.
And there's also people that do the seminars. I mean, I get you on that, man. But
I think it's up to the person themselves.
I agree with that, and I agree with a lot of that. But I also do think, man, that it's up to the promoter to be like, hey, I need you guys to put on a fucking great show, man. You got 2 weeks to go over it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, dude, I do look at it more as mileage logged in the ring. But overall, going back to the MWF last night, in my opinion, man, they do need to work on that, because there were more slip-ups than I like to see.
Right.
Let's put it like that, man. I would say even some, man, they did catch him. You know, I'll say that too, man. And I'm not throwing names and stuff like that out there, obviously, man.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is, man, there's absolutely no one in the organization that cannot get better.
Right.
I will say that.
Yeah. That's with any.
That's with anybody, anything, bands, whatever, dude.
Yep.
You know, I can always go back to the music scene as well, man. You can always learn.
Always improve.
You can always improve, man. You can always learn new techniques. You can always learn new. Man, look at Neil Peart from fucking Rush, man. I think it was, 10 years ago, he decided to retire, and he went to train with a jazz drummer and changed his style up, man. We're talking about who many people, probably a vast majority of the people in this planet, consider to be the best rock and roll drummer of all time, went to go train with a jazz drummer and changed up his fucking style after 40 fucking years, man. That's...
Now, for you kids who don't know who Rush is...
Dad, that killed me, man. But seriously, man, if Neil Peart can go out and learn and become better, then everybody can, man.
Yeah.
So that's probably my biggest critique is get in there, man. Go over your spots. Don't just do them on the fly, man. Don't do them on the fly. No.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know.
You can dig that. And that goes back to us. If you can't, don't
do it.
Don't
do it. And don't figure it out live. You know, figure it out figure it out that morning, man.
Yeah.
You know, if you can set that ring up through the week, man, get your asses up there, man. Like you were just saying, if people are putting on seminars, go do it, man. You know, Mike, it's weird, and I'm not trying to dog out or anything like that, man. But you know, when we were coming up, when we were getting into it, even before the Millennium Wrestling Federation, you could not keep us out of a fucking ring.
Right.
I mean, we found rings. When we had one set up, we were literally in there every day but Sunday. And I remember that
was a
and I would even get ill about that. I'm like, fuck, man, let's go up there and train. And you were always like, no, motherfucker, we're taking Sundays off, you know. And there was a couple, I'm like, nah, dude, let's go up there and work. Or
wish I still had Sundays again.
I know, right? The good old days.
Oh, my God.
Trying to think if there's any other critiques, man, other than, you know, I think everybody...
Well, we did. And nobody was behind us.
No.
That was a personal...
That was us.
That was us getting ourselves better.
Get better, man. And that was, you know, having that desire to do it, you know. And I'm not saying these guys don't have... I mean, actually, I know they got the desire. They definitely do. Yeah. Just utilize it, man. You know, utilize it when you can, you know. And like I said, you know, that's just a little armchair book, and it's just a little what I saw. You know, everybody could probably handle some gym time. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, yeah,
be like Casey.
I can too.
I can too, brother. You know, I can too. You know, but you look at like Blake who's hitting it, man. You can tell it. You know, you look at Casey who's hitting it. You can tell it, man.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, I think everybody could probably stand some gym time, man. It's part of it, guys.
Yeah.
Seriously, if you're in the ring, if you're wrestling, man, it's part of it, dude. That's something else. We had a bench set up. We would work out, then we'd hit the ring, man. I mean, that was all of us.
Yep.
You know, man, I look back at Wendigo. You know, Aaron Clark. I remember when Wendigo first started, man. He was out of shape. You know, pretty fat. You know, fuck it, he was fat. You know, he couldn't lift a fucking weight, man.
Right.
I remember the first time we put him on the bench, we're like, no, motherfucker, you're gonna. And he wanted to. It wasn't like we forced him. He wanted. He had the desire to do it.
Yeah.
And I remember, dude, we put like maybe 30 pounds on the bar, and he couldn't hardly lift that shit. How long did it take him before he was bench pressing fucking freight trains, man? I'm talking in a matter of months, dude. And to this day, he still works out. He still cross trains. Him getting into working out in the wrestling days has carried on with him.
Right.
And he has dropped every bit of the fat. He is in great shape.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, guys, it is a part of it, man. You got to keep your body in shape, man. And so that's about the only critiques I could really give, Mike.
Right.
Now, as far as putting them over, where to start, man? let me pull out my scroll here. First and foremost, man, I think the MWF, even from our days back in the time to right now, they know how to put on the story. Yeah. They know how to put on a production. It is more than a wrestling show, man. It has always been more than a wrestling show, and it is still more than a wrestling show. It is a theatrical performance, man. The design of the building we've already talked about. I just want to put that over one more time, man. The place looks amazing.
It's a live story.
It's a live story, man. Yeah. Everybody's promo skills are on point, man. There was not one time in any interview that I was like on board. Not once, man. They put over everything so clearly.
Yeah.
And there's just a vibe about it, man, that you just cannot put into words. There is just this. There's an energy.
Right.
Is what I'm trying to say. The Millennium Wrestling, and you cannot learn that. You cannot book that. You cannot write that down. So, okay, we're going to have a bunch of energy tonight. No, man, that just comes naturally. The promos are on point. The match lengths were on fucking point. That was one thing I was worried about, Mike, going in. Because I've been to some MWF shows, and them motherfuckers sometimes can drag out.
Right.
I've been to a couple of the shows. I'm like, Jesus, guys.
Yeah.
Take it home.
Right.
You know, when you can feel the fans, man, when you feel that crowd starting to get a little dead, it's okay to take it home a few minutes early, man.
Right.
It's cool. Never once last night did that happen, man. In fact, I'd even say those last two matches were cut a little short because of the ring rope. I mean, I think they could have went a little longer, to be completely honest with you. Like I said, man, it was on point. Overall, I had a tremendous time. Yeah. And I can't wait to go to the next one, man.
Right.
You know, I'll be going back.
Yep.
That's something else, man, that going out last night is kind of done for me. It's like, okay.
Kicked it in the...
Yeah, man. It's like, get off your fucking ass, man.
Yeah.
Go out, be social, man.
Yeah.
See these guys, you know, support them. But like I said, Mike, all in all, man,
Wrestling's everywhere.
It's everywhere, dude, and that's great, man. You know, like I said, just to kind of reiterate,
like double dicking of
I
wrestling,
knew
like
it,
all
man.
at one time. Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah.
I knew it was coming, man. Jesus, well, brother,
and then on top of that, you got the thick load of pay-per-view from AEW coming
man.
up, and that's coming up next week.
Next week,
part 2 of our Double or Nothing show.
We're coming back with you next week, guys. Well, Mike, brother, speaking of coming back next week, is there anything you'd like to end us with?
Just what a fun time. What a fun time. What a fun Saturday of just wrestling, man. Just wrestling everywhere. Who would have thought?
And just to put it over again, man, God bless you guys for doing it.
Absolutely.
Man. I've been in the ring. You know, it's a buzz, man. It's a high when you get in that ring. But you also, man, you're putting your body on the line. And you're putting your body on the line to entertain. And I don't think enough people appreciate that. And I do appreciate that. So, you know, thank you guys for doing it.
Support the locals.
Support them, man. Support the talent. But, guys, once again, if y'all are out there listening, do talk.
Yeah.
Do communicate with each other because we're all on the same team. You know, like I said, you know, a little earlier, one of my biggest regrets from when I was booking was not maybe communicating with the other guys and the other promotions and the other talents in the area. Just like with music, man, you always get these rivalries.
Yeah.
Well, I'm the better drummer. Well, I'm the better bass player. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, man, everybody's just trying to make music.
That's right.
Everybody's just on the same page, man. And with wrestling, it's even more, I guess, close-knit. We're all fucking crazy, man. Yeah. We all epically just out of it, so we need to stick together. Communicate, man. Don't run on the same nights, guys. Is what I'm trying to say. Let me just put it down there on paper, man. Don't run on the same nights, guys. Yeah. Don't split us up.
Yeah.
Let us have these options every week.
Yes.
Communicate. Yeah. Jeff Roberts, Outlaw Keith Matthews, that's your guy in the MWF.
Stop splitting
him up.
Stop splitting up the podcast so we can actually go out, you know, together and see these shows together.
Yeah.
And raise more hell and probably get kicked out.
Get out, man. You know, we want to make the shit historic, you know. But once
we boo referees.
Yeah, apparently we're the only motherfuckers that do. Oh, but man, one thing I want to say before we do sign off, man, the guy who was the color guard or the guy who was dressed up like the revolutionary guy I was talking about,
yeah.
He was the referee in the main event.
Oh, okay.
And he was actually pretty good, man.
Really?
He actually did a good job, but bro, I rode that motherfucker. I'm like, watch him, ref. That was a 3-count, ref. Get us a ref that can count to 3. Oh, man, I was on him. And I was trying to break him, bro. But he did good. He did
good. Ye old 1, ye old 2.
If thou does not open thy hands, then ye shall be disqualified.
Please refrain from the fisticuffs.
I won. Yeah, 2, yeah.
I don't know what the fuck that was.
I don't either, man. Fuck it, dude. I'm ready to leave, man. I'm gonna go home and take a nap.
Get lubed.
I mean, yes, but not. Yeah. Anyway. All right. Well, guys, I enjoyed it, man. Mike. Yeah, man. All right. Until next week.
Maybe that's what we need. The next big thing is just going to be the revolutionary era of wrestling.
That would be the shit, man.
Oh my god,
that would be the shit, dude. I would send me into that
during the Battle Ramsor
or the 4th, maybe, or something. Yeah. We'll look into it, man. It's coming up. All right, well, guys. Once again, I hope everybody out there has a great week, and until next week, from us Puds here to you Puds out there, have a good one.
Yield.
And not only that, David, I understand we're right at the end of our program.
No, we have got to go.
This has been a great event.
There's some people out there that hate us for this.